So, hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And here in this space, I'm just going to teach you everything I suppose that I do within my clinic, all the energy work that I do, the hypnotherapy that I do, and it is about creating awareness. It's about creating awareness for you to allow you then to understand what I do and how you can change your life then. So today we're going to talk about Reiki, because Reiki, for anyone who doesn't know, is the first thing that actually brought me into all of this awareness that really changed my life. So about 10 years ago, I hurt my back while I was again kind of, creating these changes in my life to keep fit and for my own health, mental health reasons. When I had a lot of anxiety, when I had my second child, I really wasn't managing or coping well, and I had to make some changes. So running was one of the things that I stepped into. And then not long after that, I hurt my back. So I went to a lady, Chris Kilkelly, who did a massage on me, and that's what I thought I was going for. But once I left her, something happened. So once I left her, it was like I just got this lift. Now, for probably the evening, I really thought it was her because she was a beautiful person, and I do believe it still is her. But she was a beautiful person, and she was there for me, and she heard me, and it was probably the first time really outside of, and even when I was going to counseling for me, I was probably ticking the boxes in there because I wasn't ready for the change. But for Chris, it was just like she heard me, even though did she understand it? Probably not, but she heard me. So with that, kind of the next couple of days, then, the change was just so profound. It was so profound that, like, I couldn't think negative. I couldn't really kind of get into a bad mood. I just felt this lift, and I just felt like a weight had lifted off my shoulders. So I texted her and I just said, I don't know what you've done to me, but, everything just seems to be different. And she said, oh, well, I think you need to come down and see me because I did this thing. Anyway, I went down to see her and she just said, look, I did this therapy called Reiki while I was massaging you because I felt that your root chakra was blocked. And obviously that was the trauma to losing my brother to suicide. And again, my two suicidal attempts myself. So my root chakra was blocked, so there was no energy. So again, that feeling of heaviness, that feeling of not belonging and not being able to cope was very relevant in my life because there was no energy flowing in my body. So she said that when she was massaging me, that she awakened my root chakra, that she worked on my root chakra through Reiki. And she said, well, you should do Reiki, because again, she's, highly intuitive, and just a beautiful person. But she said, you should do Reiki. She said, because you will help a lot of people. And of course, like everybody else, I went home and I Googled Reiki, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't think, first of all, that I could do it, and second of all, I suppose it was the belief in it. But then I had to ask myself, you know, I had already experienced it, and as I said, the change was so profound that there was no denying that something happened. So with that, then on the Monday, I went into work, and there was a lady who used to work there, and she then was talking to her, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing now?" And she said, "Oh, I'm a Reiki Master." And I said, "Oh my God, you won't believe, a lady just told me on Saturday that I should do that." And she said, "Well, I'm running one next Saturday. Why don't you come?" And that was it. So I went to the Reiki about 10 years ago, and everything changed. Absolutely everything changed in my life. And not only for myself, but then, this energy and this confidence, just opened up so many doors for me. For me then to be able to help other people create the life that they want, to get into that vibration. And that's one of the biggest things that I see with all the people who have done Reiki with me, or anyone who's come in for therapy. It's that lift that they get. I now know it because I've not only experienced it, but I've also seen them change in those moments. And it's just like, and a majority of the time it happens on when they're on the couch in my clinic. But I put them up in the bed because if you're looking at a bed and you think, oh, that bed looks nice now, I'd like to get up in that for half an hour. So, but the change happens there and then because you are talking, you are bringing that energy and you're moving that energy. So Reiki is so, so powerful. And it is so powerful to bring into your own lives. For me, when I did the Reiki level 1, it was all about self healing, and Reiki level 1 is all about self healing. It's about bringing it into your home. For level 1, you are working on yourself for 30 days. You can work on family and friends. You can do all of these things. And then when you see that profound change, and when you get that profound change, then you just want to help others. You will see that people will be attracted to you. I remember, when people said, oh, you could do this as a business, Sharon. I'm like, who is going to come to me? Especially, with my past and, being depressed, suicidal, drinking a lot of alcohol, all that kind of, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but to me, in my mind, it was like, I wasn't able to emotionally regulate myself. So who would, come and see me when, I would have been doing all of these other things. So, but what happened was once I stepped into it, once I started working on myself, things started to change. My environment changed. People were like, I'd be going down the road and people you'd be coming and, now they were always telling me their stuff anyways. I always had that energy of people would just tell me their stuff. But then it was just I'd be coming down the road and people might say something or I might be in a shop and somebody say something. I said, oh, well, energy work is very good for that. And they'd say, how did you change and how did that happen for you? And I was like, well, energy work changed that. And everything else I have then is a knock on to that. So energy, and still, even in my clinic, I will always do energy work. Even if I'm online doing sessions, I will always do energy work because energy work for me is the foundation. So if somebody came into me to stop smoking, and then I can see that their root chakra is blocked, or they've had trauma, or they're not able to emotion regulate, or they feel out of control, then I will want to do energy work on them. I will want to have them in their best place possible to move forward with hypnotherapy, so that the hypnotherapy will create the changes as well, but the energy will lift that vibration for them so much that they'll have that lightness, they'll have that energy, they'll have be 100% in their own body. So today I'm just going to just briefly go through. I'm not going to go through it all, but I am going to give you an insight to Reiki and what Reiki is. And if you get attuned to Reiki, join me on any of my courses. I have one running this Sunday, or join me on any of the courses that I run, probably mostly Sundays. What to expect. And what you will get out of it and how it will change your life, and not only your life. Even the other day, Kelly was there and she cut herself. So she cut herself and she just says, ma'am, can you do some healing on it? So for me, because I've been in it so long, for my kids, because they grew up with it, they won't ask to go to the doctor. They won't ask, they might ask for a plaster, but they'll ask for the healing first and then put a plaster on it. So this is how it's so powerful for them to know that we can heal ourselves. And then again, like that if it's just taking a little bit long for me, well, then I can ask my mom, or I can ask somebody to do that healing for me. So I'm just going to pull up this here. Okay. A bit bigger. Okay. So, beginner's guide to Reiki energy. So, Reiki is Japanese energy healing that promotes relaxation and stress reduction. So, that's what happened to me. Chris brought, like, I was in from when my brother died and that trauma for years, even when I had my kids, for years, I was in that thing of, I have to control this, I have to control, I have to control. So, I was in a heightened state for years. And I'll just pop this up here. Actually, it might work better this way. Yeah. So with that, when Chris did this energy work on me, it brought my whole body back into what's called a parasympathetic nervous system. So I was in a sympathetic nervous system, which was go, 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 go. There was adrenaline and cortisol going to my body all the time. Chris brought me back into a parasympathetic nervous system where my rest and digest could happen, where stress reduction had decreased. At this stage, I had 2 kids. So going along the road, even when Colin passed, I was still managing because I was just controlling myself. Then Kelly came along, that was fine. I just had one person then to look after and myself. And then when Eve came along, and poor Eve had like reflux, I couldn't help her. I could barely help myself. So, it was that thing of just being so overwhelmed and not being able to cope with any of it and trying these things of, meditating and doing running and stuff like that. But my whole body was like a total ball of stress. So it involves so if you go to energy work, it involves practitioner gently placing their hands above your body and channel the universal energy, which is known as ki. Um, so ki in Japanese. So this energy is believed to flow through the body, balancing the chakras and promoting healing. Now, if you came to a session with me, I would again, and I'll do a video on the chakras and stuff like that as well. So, it is that thing of having that understanding, that we've got 7 main chakras in the body. We've got hundreds of them, but we've 7 main ones that run central line in the body that are connected to our 12 meridians, which is your liver, your kidneys, your spleen. And all of these then start to, they all need to work together. When there's no energy flow, pathological emotions, in the like the anger, the guilt, the shame, sadness, fear, all these things that I had start to attach into our organs and stuff like that. So Reiki is a non-invasive practice that can be used to support physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. It's complementary therapy alongside conventional medication. So even though people come to me, they might still be on antidepressants, they might still be on they might be on blood pressure tablets, they might be on things for diabetes. It's all in conjunction. When you do energy work, you don't just come off your medication. You always go back to your doctor. If you start to feel better, which you will, when you start to feel better, you always go back to your doctor and talk about your medication, and then they start to reduce your medication in whatever way, shape, or form that looks like. So this guide will provide just an introduction to Reiki for beginners, covering just some of the history, the principles, and the techniques. So I won't get through all of it in this, but I'm just going to give you the basics of what would happen in a therapy session, and again, what you can actually do for yourself if you choose to do Reiki level 1. So what is Reiki? So Reiki is the Japanese energy healing that promotes relaxation, reduces stress, and promotes overall well-being. It involves channeling the universal life force energy known as ki through the practitioner's hands, okay, into the recipient. So I will always have my hands, and some people say that will feel heat, and some people will feel cold, some people will feel tingling, and some people feel nothing at all. But I will place my hands on the certain parts of the body, the chakras, and while I'm doing that, and when I'm moving that energy, what's happening is it's working on your physical. So remember, any physical ailment we have, there's an emotional attached to it. So we're working on the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual bodies. Now, I always work on the astral as well because I work with the pendulum, and we're just clearing out all that environmental stuff, all the roles that we play, all the attachments that we have. And this is why it's very good for children, because and to do this for your own children, because children become attached. We have attachment styles. So I need to be with my mom, or I need to be with my dad. And that's why we see children who really kind of get in there to their parents, and parents can't go anywhere. They get emotional. So, energy work is very good for them, allowing them back into their own body and feeling safe. And that's what it's all about, all of it. We just all want to feel safe. We want to feel secure, and we want to feel safe. And that's really, when we are born, that's what we need to feel. But unfortunately, through our environment and maybe through our parents and our peers, we don't feel safe. And then when we don't feel safe, some part of the body, some part of the energy, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, starts to become dense. And that's when the energy starts to become heavy. But you can heal yourself. 110% with Reiki, or you can go to somebody to get that healing. So Reiki practitioners, yeah, use a gentle touch, hovering the hands to direct the energy, aiming to restore the balance. So if I was doing energy work, you can place the hands on, or you can place them up over. If I feel cold, if I feel like, an energy dense there, then I'll be moving that energy. And it takes a bit of practice to do it. But the one thing about energy is that, like, Reiki energy, it's that thing that, like, it's not a special gift that anybody has. It's a universal life force energy. So once you put your symbols on, the energy starts to flow. So sometimes I'll be on the top of people's head, and then they'll open their eyes, or I'll go down to, I'll be on their head, and I'll move down the body, and then I'll be on their feet, and they'll open their eyes and say, oh my God, Sharon, I thought you were on my head there for a minute. But I could be on the feet, but the energy knows where it goes. So it's universal life force energy. So it knows where it goes itself. So I'm not so much, I have to heal this person. I'm like, the energy is going to go wherever this person, and people come in with maybe back pain, and they'd say, oh God, Sharon, I actually had a client the other day who came in for, again, fear of eating. So what was happening was that, again, just that fear of choking. So when I contacted them to see how they were feeling, they said, I still am a 7 here. So I'm a 7, with the eating thing, but my stress is reduced. My sleep is better. So sometimes the energy, even though this is the one that's representing, this is the thing that's shown up, and this is the thing that we want to release, the thing about it is that actually there's underlying stress there, there's underlying, emotions there, there is sleep deprivation there, that is, again, aiding to this. So what will happen is, in the next couple of days for that person, because then obviously I say, okay, I see where the energy is working. The energy is working on the emotional and the mental side for this person. Now I just have to direct it a little bit more, thank it, and just direct it a little bit more to take the physical away. And, it won't be long before that will happen for that person. So we have to remember, it's not just physical. To get to that physical level, there had to be a suppression of emotion that got it to there. Okay, so that's just the origin of Reiki. So Reiki, again, has been passed down through a linear of masters. So people have been teaching people all the time. Matt Kauzui was the founder. And again, we have to remember that, Matt Kauzui meditated, got enlightened, got symbols, but there was no hand movements until then. It developed in then to Eastern healing techniques, and then Reiki level 1, level 2, and level 3 was developed. So that is, again, why there is certain levels. Level 1 is getting you to heal yourself and family and friends. Level 2 then is to move on. You will get the symbol for level 2 on emotional and mental health. So you've your own stuff worked on, and you're working on yourself with the Reiki symbol, chakra. And that's the power center, or that's a power symbol. And I love Reiki level 1. And I love the rest of them, but Reiki level 1 is great because it empowers you. So then you go to level 2, and that is, you get the emotional, you get the distant healing. So that's why I can work online, and I can send healing to anybody through a photograph, because you get the distant healing in level 2 as well. And then level 3, again, it's master. It's about teaching other people then to bring this out to their environment, and who they are and who is attracted to them. So the principles of Reiki is: just for today, do not anger. Just for today, do not worry. Just for today, be grateful. Just for today, be honest. So that is all about coming back into the present moment. Just for today. Not about, so remember the saying, if we're depressed, we're in the past, because we're thinking about the past and there's nothing we can do about it. If we're anxious, we're worried about the future, what might happen. So the past is what did happen. Oh my God, how, I can't change it. How am I going to move forward for it? The future is what might happen, what could happen, what will happen. And then we're anxious because, again, like that, we've no control in that either. We only have the present moment. So just for today, just for now. So when I put on my symbols in the morning, I'm just being. And then if there's something that comes up in my life or something that comes up in my day, and I take those breaths and I sit into that energy, then I'm just being. So again, there are the principles of it. Just for today, do not anger, because again, remember, holding anger is for other people or situations is you holding that piece of coal and expecting them to burn. They're gone. They're doing their own thing. They're having a great day. Do not worry, because worry is anxiousness, and we can't control it anyways of what might happen. So coming back into the present moment, being emotionally regulated, having yourself in a parasympathetic nervous system allows your rest and digest to happen, and then we feel calmer. Any anxieties then kind of dissipate. Be grateful. Grateful is, gratitude is one of the biggest things, and I'll do a video on gratitude, and we can do a little work on that. So gratitude, 10 minutes gratitude in the morning is a game changer. I've always said it. Gratitude has definitely got me to where I am today, and it can get you to wherever you want to be as well. Just for today, be honest. And be honest for me is this thing of be honest with yourself. If you want to do something, if you want to go somewhere, if you're not the version that of the person that you want to be, and you're holding yourself back because what if this person doesn't like if I change, and what happens here and what happens there, then you're not being honest with ourselves. And we're not being honest with ourselves, then we can't be honest to other people, because we're always going to have to be hiding. So it's about being honest. And what do I want? Where do I want to go in my life? What parts of me do I want to heal? We really have to be honest with that as well. Like sometimes it's relationships that we might be afraid, oh God, if I look into this, what's going to happen? But sometimes, like, we can't be fully in a relationship, even as parents, unless we're fully in a relationship with ourselves. So heal you first. Always, always, always. I couldn't do what I'm doing now, any of it, if I didn't do the healing first. So Reiki level 1 is really, really powerful. Okay. So these are the 7 main chakras in the body. I will do another video on that. The first one is at your coccyx bone. The next one, so that's the one down there, the purpley one down there. The next one is at your root chakra. Or sorry, the first one's at your root chakra. The next one is just under your navel. The next one's under your breastbone. You've got one here in your heart. You've got one in your throat. You've one up here in your third eye, and you've got one here on the top of your head. Now you have hundreds of them up the ways. You have hundreds of them down. You have ones down the ways. You have ones in the palms of your hands. But we won't go into that. So again, the root chakra, from the root chakra, it's just grounding us into the earth. The crown chakra is connecting us to the divine. So when Chris opened my root chakra, she grounded me into the here and the now. That's it. Everything changed. When she did the crown chakra, because she did all the chakras, when she did the crown chakra, it opened me up to spirituality. It opened me up to light. It opened me up to energy. It opened me up to all of these things that are possible. So that's why there was such, because they play such a vital role in maintaining our overall well-being. That's why there was just such a shift in energy. And I've seen it even when I work with people online. Like I have people in Dublin, I have people in Canada, I have people in Australia. So, even when I'm working on those people, they will get the shift, because it's not me having to put my hands on. It's the energy going directly into where it needs to be. So understanding the 7 main chakras and their roles can help identify energy imbalances and addresses them through Reiki. When chakras are balanced, we experience harmony, vitality, and a sense of inner peace. And that's what I felt that time when it worked for me. So how does Reiki work? So it channels channel energy. So Reiki, again, like that, it's me channeling the energy, allowing the universal life force energy to flow through me. So I'm just the vessel, a very, very important part of the process, but I'm the vessel. And people would say to me all the time, God, Sharon, do you not like, be tired when you're doing that? And I'm like, but it's not me. I can work on 10 people on a maybe a Friday, but it's not me. The energy's flowing through me, and as that energy's flowing through me, it's revitalizing me as well. So there's that uplift. So it's an energy transfer. So the energy then is gently transmitted from me with a light touch, hovering my hands over, or again directing it if I'm using a photograph or if we're online. And this energy then helps to flow and to harmonize your energy systems, known as your chakras. So self-healing. So this is the one that I believe that everybody needs, everybody should have, everybody has the ability to do, to heal ourselves. You know, there's nothing more empowering than, you know, waking up in the morning or last thing at night, putting on my symbols and asking the energy to heal whatever needs to be healed today. Placing my hand on my child and asking the energy to heal whatever needs to be healed. It is really, really powerful. It's really, really empowering. So, Reiki promotes relaxation, reduces stress, and allows the body's natural healing mechanisms to work more effectively. It supports mental, emotional, and physical well being, fostering a sense of inner peace and harmony. So, the effects of Reiki. So, Reiki promotes the deep relaxation, reducing stress and anxiety. It helps alleviate pain and improves quality of sleep, and enhances your overall well-being. Reiki balances and the energy flow and creates a sense of inner calmness. Reiki has the healing ability. It strengthens your immune system because remember it's attached to your 12 meridians. So it strengthens your immune system. Again, if we've got viruses or anything like that, it releases them, promoting faster healing and recovery from injuries. And anybody who's going to an operation or they've been over an operation, they will always ask me to send healing. So Reiki and the healing process is very, very quick when you do energy work. So Reiki can help to release emotional blockages, facilitate emotional healing and personal growth. And, you know, all of it, my whole journey to where I am today and what I do today with speaking and, going in, talking about suicide now, like this is all because of energy work. So Reiki increases the vitality and energy levels. It can help clear mental fog and enhances focus and concentration. So when I'm working on leaving certs, or when I'm working on anybody who needs to go for an interview, who needs to study, I'm doing Reiki to release those mental, that block. So here in the third eye, just the memory, the focus, all of that. So energy promotes a sense of well-being and overall quality of life. Okay, so that is just the basic application. So again, we'll prepare for it. We position our hands, we visualize the energy flowing through your body. And then when we're ready, and I know when you're ready, we'll go through the stages of it. Then we complete the session. I think that's probably... Okay, we do this. Reiki is a holistic practice to promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It works by balancing the energy system, restoring and harmonizing, and promoting healing. Reiki can be used to address a wide range of health concerns, including stress, anxiety, depression, pain, and chronic illness. I use Reiki for people who fertility issues, people who again have the chronic pain, endometriosis, fibromyalgia, again, any kind of neurological issues that come up. Now, remember, the majority of these people are seeing doctors or they might be taking medication. That's okay. We're not trying to fight one against the other. It's about bringing all of it together to say, okay, I'm comfortable with medicine, but I also want a balance in my life. So it's about that thing about us all working together in that energy. So Reiki can improve sleep 100% from people. I've had people who have had insomnia to sleeping full nights to snoring to sleep apnea. All of these things have improved for people or absolutely just left their life. So reduce stress, anxiety levels, and enhance emotion stability. By promoting relaxation and reducing tension, Reiki can help people cope. That's what happened for me. I wasn't coping. I was putting things in place to cope, but I still wasn't coping because I had a build-up of blocked energy. Yeah, with daily stressors and improve their overall well-being. And I only did a post yesterday on my 6-week meditation program, and that is it. It is that thing of It's that the daily stressors. And we might say, people come to me and say, oh, Sharon, but it's only tiny. It's only this thought I have. It might be something that, somebody didn't do something, or, there was a cup in the wrong place. But that is all pressure. That is all pressure. So it strengthens your immune system, boosts your energy levels. I got a huge boost from it, and increased vitality. And after I went with Chris and my back healed, I did a half a marathon after that. And like, I was 17 stone. So if anybody would have said to me all those years ago that you would be running, that you would run a half a marathon, I'd be saying, don't think that's going to happen. But it did. And now I'm probably in the fittest place mentally, physically, and emotionally than I've ever been in my whole life. And that is one of the therapies that changed it all. The only therapy that changed it all was Reiki. Hypnotherapy then made the constant changes. Okay, think. Yeah, so my role in the change of it, and your role if you decide to do Reiki level 1, level 2, or level 3. So the role of practitioner is to channel the energy. So the role is for us to, as trained, when we're trained, to channel the energy, guiding it towards the person that we're helping, or ourselves. And this energy then promotes relaxation, reduces stress, and overall well-being for them. Then we're an empathetic guide. So we're not there to tell them we're not there to tell them this is that, this is this. We're there to listen, we're there to be there and listen, and then we're there to shift the energy. So practitioners are empathetic listeners who create a safe and nurturing environment for clients. We actively listen and offer support during sessions, and also provide guidance and recommendations for incorporating Reiki into your daily life. So people who come to me for healing, I would listen, I would engage. I'm not telling them what they have to do or what they need to do, but when they're finished the sessions, I will give them a recording. I will give them tools and techniques that's going to help them live their life. When you decide to step into level 1, when you want to heal yourself, then you will also get a guide in that, and you will also then know how to practice this every single day for yourself. So we're dedicated to well-being, and I am definitely that person who is dedicated to helping others and to helping myself always. Or should I put it, helping myself and helping others, because I cannot help another person unless I'm doing this myself. If I stopped doing energy work and I didn't do my hypnotherapy and I didn't do all the tools that I'm giving you to do, then the energy wouldn't flow, and I wouldn't be the best version of myself to be the best version for you. So my whole thing is, I am, and I say it all the time, I'm a product of what I do because I live it. I love it. I'm dedicated to it. If something comes up in my life, which it does because I am human, I will use these tools that I have. I'll use my energy work, I'll use my hypnotherapy, I'll use my gratitude, I'll use my journaling. I will use all of these things to get me to the space where I need to be, because stuff always comes up for all of us. But we have the power and we have that ability, with these tools and techniques to heal ourselves. And then, as I say, for me, I'm changing a genealogical line for my kids because, they're going to understand, energy work, and then maybe they'll get into it, or maybe they'll just continue to ask me to do it. But I'm empowering them to say, look, you heal yourself there now. You rub your hands together and place your hands on there now and do some healing on yourself, and put the chakra sign on, and then I will do whatever needs to happen for you after that. But more often than not, it will be gone for them. So it's about empowering as well. Um, yeah, so I think for that, just for the energy work, to get that understanding about Reiki, to get that kind of thing of, why it works so well, how it works so well. You don't need any special gift. You just need to be attuned to it. Or again, if it's a thing that you wanted it to experience it, to come as a client, then again, like that, it's just about being open to change. It's that thing of, when you come in, the energy is going to know where it needs to go. The energy is going to know what it needs to do. You just have to want that change on some level. again, just think, okay, maybe my life isn't going the way I want it to go right now, or maybe it's not in the flow, or maybe I do feel that weight on my shoulders, or maybe I am carrying everybody else around. And remember, even when we talk about perimenopause and menopause, that's one of the things. If your root chakra is blocked and your navel is blocked, where again all our hormones, that's if you've got fertility issues, I would suggest, and as I say, it doesn't have to be me. I would suggest finding a Reiki therapist somewhere in your environment, because having these two areas blocked, especially if you've had miscarriages or you've gone through IVF and you've had failed IVFs, all of here is blocked. You rest and digest. So the energy flow, the babies are coming in. Let's say if there's a couple of miscarriages, the babies are coming in to show you can get pregnant, but there's a block there, probably emotionally, because of obviously grief, complicated grief as well, if we're trying for a long time. But again, that all, like the energy flow there, allows that to flow. It allows us to flow, and then we become. And I always believe as well, when we come into energy work, it's about making us a better person, making us a better person for ourselves, making us a better parent, making us a better spouse, making us a better maybe our within our family. Because again, it comes back to self. I'm doing this for me, and if I'm doing this for me, then I become that better person all round. But if I'm doing everything for everybody else and I'm trying to be everything for everybody else, then I get lost in that. And I start to then kind of think, disconnected from myself. Who am I? God, I'm not even able to manage. So energy work is something that I stepped into 10 years ago. It changed my life, and it can change yours too. So if you've got any information, or if you want to write any comments in under, do. I do have, I will put the links up anyways, but I do run Reiki level 1s, level 2s, and level 3s all the time. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know as well. And as I say, any questions, because some people do have fears around it, and I won't go into them because they're so broad. But again, if you have and you want to ask me anything about it, just reach out. Okay, everybody, have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you all soon.